Hi, Melanie Muenchinger here, illustrator for Gina K Designs. Today I'm going to be sharing another project with my stamp set Fabulous Frame and Fabulous Frame fillers, both from Gina K Designs. Fabulous Frame is now back in stock. At the moment, Fabulous Frame fillers is not, but it will be very soon. So I wanted to get going on some more videos for you, for those of you who have both of these sets or are looking forward to getting them and want to see more ideas. This is a card that I made for our release, and I wanted to show you how you can start doing some Christmas cards right now, because I know a lot of you have maybe upwards of 100 cards that you make for Christmas, so you're probably already thinking about your designs now if you haven't started already. This is a very quick card to make. I'm not going to do the layering or the embellishments, but I'm going to show how I would color this trillium to look more kind of like a poinsettia holiday type flower, along with how you can use the curved and straight borders to make this really cool dotted background. Dots just always make me think of falling snow, so I really like them on Christmas and holiday cards. To make this card, you are going to need some white or ivory cardstock. I've already stamped this today, and I'll just fill it in really quickly because I know you've seen me stamp this frame many times. You're going to need a large block for that Fabulous Frame from the Fabulous Frame stamp set. The Fabulous Frame fillers, I'm going to be using the dotted borders in that, as well as the photo corner and the little dotted belly band. You're going to need some ink. Going to be stamping the borders in this cherry red. This is my favorite red from Gina K Designs, and the chocolate brown for the frame. A few markers that we're using today, these are the Spectrum Noir. I've got the DR3 and DR7 for the reds, but you can substitute with Copics or other red shades that you like. The CG2 and DG3 for the leaves, the BG3 for the shadow, and then the GB8 is also going to be on that border. Small blocks for the small stamps. I use some of the gold cord. This is what Gina K carries. This really looks nice on your holiday cards just to give it some sparkle. All right, so let's go ahead and we will fill in these belly bands with the cherry red ink. So you're just gonna, pardon my head, but you're just going to place it right over that belly band space until it disappears and stamp it right in there, and then repeat on the other side. Okay. If you have any overlap, you might choose to color that border that is surrounding it with the same color. So don't feel like it has to be perfect or you have to start over if you see a little bit of white space. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to color that belly band with this green. Okay. And I'm going to fill in the outside of it with this GB8, and this is kind of similar to the Leonette Gold Copic, and I love using it when I want it to have kind of a yellow gold tone. So this is just slightly different from the card that I just showed you, where I actually colored the outside. This one is trimmed exactly to the frame. Okay, so that's nice and quick. And then I'll go ahead and do this inner border. And you can cover the frame so that you're masking this part around the oval, or you can just stamp the flower right into it. It will actually nest in there without overlapping the corners. And I noticed the other day, you will see a tiny bit of the outline missing on this stamp. My cat actually chewed a piece of it off. I've never had that happen before. So guard your stamps from your pets if you have some that like to chew. It's the first cat I've ever had that does that, but she gets my ribbons, everything. See that? And I know that you know from seeing other cards, it does have that outline. So that's something I can just fill in with a pen at a later time. So let's fill this in really quickly. I'm going to use the lighter red first, and I'm just going to go in circles and fill in the entire petal with this lighter red. And that might look like it is clashing with that cherry red on the belly band, but then once I add my darker shadows with that DR7 marker, it's all going to come together. So you need to have a lighter and a darker. And when I'm making these cards, I hope that you will look at it not simply from how to color a red flower, but where to place the shadows on this flower, whether you're using 2 shades of blue, 2 shades of purple, 2 shades of yellow, etc. It's going to be placed in the exact same spot, so as long as you find 2 nice colors, and you're going to see I'm not even going to do very much blending on this today. Just going to do a little bit of tracing the contour lines in my image. And the less blending you do, really the more dramatic it's going to look. But you might choose to go back and have just a little bit more on your flower. I'll blend them just a tiny bit for you so you can see. So that might seem really dark. Let's go back. And see, while it's wet, that color is just going to keep moving. And you can do a little tip-to-tip coloring if you like. If you want to bring in, just make that a little more blended there to create an in-between shade there at the middle. And this is all really going to pop once we add the green for our leaves. Okay, so you have a nice dramatic flower. Very simple. Okay, let's go ahead and use our lighter green. And we're going to fill in the parts where the leaves are tucked under that flower and the ends, and then I'm going to leave a little bit of white in the middle. So it's going to look like a really nice shiny leaf. Okay, let's take our darker green and just trace in there the underside, anywhere that there would be a shadow where you're having the flower cover it, and then there in the middle, up there at the tip. And then I'm going to go back with this and just work that together. And see how that's blending there. The greens blend really nicely, so that's really nice for doing leaves. I'm going to do the middle and then dot in. Dot in just a little bit there in the middle. Okay, that's all I'm going to do for the coloring. Now let's go ahead and make that cool dotted background. So you're going to need your long block for borders, and I'm going to go ahead and start with the curved border. So I want the straight part of this stamp to be lined up with the line. Press it down. I'm going to turn the stamp or the stamped frame this way, so that I'm not having to hold the block like that. I just always find it easier. And I'm going to go around the top, leaving a little space. Turn the cardstock, and then there, a little space. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and put my straight one on. Let me clean some of this off a little bit, excuse me. Okay, that red ink is just so dark. Okay, so I'm going to lay this right on that line. Okay, and you might have to adjust it a little bit. Now I'm going to put some sticky notes, and forgive me if I forgot to say that at the beginning. I was not able to find them at first and was thinking I was going to have to use just a straight edge of paper. Sticky notes are nice because they're going to stay in place. And then you can actually fix the mat to your work surface. Okay, so I'm going to turn this sideways. so I can stamp it sideways. Okay, so put it right there. And I'm going to use these dots as a guide. So to make this stamped off striped border, I'm going to ink this up. And I'm going to use this little dot as a guide. I'm going to start with the second one, and I'm just going to stamp right below it. Okay, then I'm going to space over 2 spaces, and I'm going to put it right here without re-inking. Okay, so let's do that again. So we're going to go over 2 spaces, and then drop down to 2 dots over without re-inking, and stamp. So we'll do it again, 2 spaces over, come down, 2 over, 2 over, almost done. And I accidentally rocked the stamp a little bit there, so I might end up putting my tag there to cover that little boo-boo. I'm always looking for opportunities to change my design based on any place I get a smudge or something that I wasn't expecting. Okay, now I'm going back up. I don't want to re-ink that right there because then I'm going to have one stamp that's going to be a little bit lighter than the rest. So this is just something you need to plan on, that you can stamp it off over here, the whole thing. Now you can do your stamped off border that's longer than the previous one. Okay, so we'll ink it up again, 2 over. Gonna ink it up again fully, the whole line, stamp it off, and then 2 over. Now I'm back to just a straight border, so I can continue my pattern without having to do that inking off on the side. So we're almost done. We'll do the full strength and then the lighter one. And don't worry about it too much if you end up getting a little bit off with your pattern. If you find that one is getting a little bit wonky or not going exactly straight with the other, then just correct your pattern just a little bit at a time. That way it'll eventually just right itself and it won't be as obvious the one that is off. See how easy that was? Then I would just add a little tag, maybe some gold cord. I also did just this little photo corner in the corner, and I hadn't shown that stamp yet, so I thought I would do that today. And then just embellish it with a little pearl. I hope you enjoy this card. I hope this gives you ideas again for how you can use those straight and curved borders in the Fabulous Frame Fillers stamp set on any cards, whether you're using the frame or not. Thank you for watching. Please visit my blog, Hands, Head, and Heart, for more ideas and inspiration. Thank you for watching.